Hello and welcome. Today, let's explore how to set up and manage default field values in Nakisa Portfolio Management Suite. I'm Simon, a system administrator, and I'm responsible for managing the creation of system-wide default field values for all users. Tracy, the contract administrator, can also define her own set of default values. To start, I'll demonstrate how to create application-level default values applicable to all users. Tracy will then show how to set user-level default values. These default values will auto-populate when creating a location, saving time and ensuring consistency. First, I'll begin by setting up default values for fields at the application level. Let's access the main menu and choose the admin option. In the admin menu, choose the Field Default Values submenu. On the Field Default Values page, we can see there's already a pre-configured default value for the location entity. To add a new one, click New Field Default Value. In the pop-up, select the appropriate entity. This could include data objects like location, premises, or contract. I will choose the location entity. I'll select the business unit option from the available fields in the list. There are 3 toggle switches: global, active, and locked. To apply the settings for all users across the application, I will toggle the global switch. By default, the configuration is set to active. You can deactivate this setting later, if needed, by turning this switch off. I can also lock this field to prevent other users from modifying it while creating a location. If this toggle is unselected, then the default value is pre-populated in the field, but it can be modified by users. Now I'll select the default value to Global Business Unit. Finally, I'll click Save. A new entry appears in the Field Default Values table. As a system administrator, I create application-level default field values that apply to all system users. If needed, I can click on the context menu and use Edit to make any changes to default values or delete the configuration entirely. Next, I will add additional default values for location entities.
Hi, it's Tracy here. Let's now set up default field values at the user level. From the main menu, I'll select the admin option and then Field Default Values. On the Field Default Values page, I can see the list of default values that have already been set up for the location entity. To add a new default value that will only affect the locations that I create, I'll click on New Field Default Value. I'll set the entity to Location and set the field name to Legal Entity. However, you'll notice that I can't select the global switch because I'm not an administrator, and I can only set up defaults for myself. In condition, I'll set the business unit to Global Business Unit and select the legal entity 2000. Now I can save. A new entry appears in the Field Default Values table that applies just to me. These user-level entries always take precedence over application ones. You can see here that the application-wide defaults can be viewed, but can't be edited. Next, I will set up another default value for the legal entity 2000, where the default field value for currency is USD. This time, I will also lock this field. Finally, I'll save the configuration. Now, let's move on to creating a location. From the location listing page, I'll click on Create a Location. In the pop-up, the location type and business unit are automatically filled in based on the default values set at the application level. Additionally, the legal entity 2000 is populated according to the user-level default value configurations. Since the legal entity field remains editable, I can change the selected legal entity by choosing a different option from the drop-down menu. If I keep the legal entity as 2000, the currency field is automatically set to USD and is non-editable because its default value was locked. I can still modify any other unlocked fields. The configuration of default field values is available for location, premises, contract, and payment term entities, simplifying data entry for all users during the contract creation workflow. Thank you for watching.